Hey guys, Dimitri here from Studio Design Academy, and welcome to another video where we review pretty awesome tech for architects and designers and really anybody else that improves our productivity. Sometimes we need to step out of software and thinking and ideas and think about the day-to-day practicalities. So in this case, we're going to talk about a pretty sweet light that BenQ was kind enough to send to me to test and review. So I haven't gone through my current desk setup or my previous desk setup yet, and I will. And they're, I think, really important. The way we set up our working space is so important to ergonomics and to our productivity. Another really important element is light, and having the right kind of light. So BenQ reached out to me a few months ago to test out one of their products, a light, and it's specific because it goes on top of your monitor. So it doesn't take up as much clutter as having a separate standalone lighting fixture. So that's quite unique. So I have to say I have been using it ever since they gave it to me because it's pretty awesome. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So as I mentioned already, it doesn't take up any space on the desk. And in addition to that, the throw of light is really wide, right? It's about as wide as the monitor, which means that the light is really nicely spread out. So if I'm writing, I don't have like really strange shadows around. It makes a much more pleasant experience for illuminating the desktop. In fact, I even use it when I need some overhead shots on my videos. It's that good, right? So besides having a really good overthrow, it has a couple of other really interesting features. First off, it has an ambient sensor where depending on how much light, it sort of self-adjusts. So it can go from really warm to really cool. There are no Kelvin degrees in here, but it goes pretty decently from warm to cool. If you're during the day, you can set it to quite warm, and during the evening, you can the other way around. If you're in the day, you can set it to quite cool, and if you're in the evening, you can set it to quite warm. You also have an adjustment of intensity. So that intensity can go from pretty bright to pretty less bright. So the only thing I wish this light can do is be a little bit more dim, right? So it goes fairly dim, but I wish it could just be a notch dimmer, because at night, if I don't have any other lights, or maybe like I have one of these lights that you see on the side turned on in my working space, then it becomes a little bit too much. So if you find this video useful, make sure you press the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm to get more recommendations and get this product and this video out to more and wider audience, like yourself. So the light comes in a box, naturally. And within the box, we have the lighting fixture, we have the controller, and then we have a USB plug. In my desk setup, because I'm using a sit-stand desk, I also need a simple USB extension cable. And then instead of plugging it into the computer, I plug it into a little adapter, you know, a phone adapter, any kind of USB adapter really works. The reason being is because I don't want the light to be controlled by the computer. I want the light to be on when the computer isn't on, right? Whenever I want. So to turn it on, we click the button and we can play with the knob. Now we have one button here, and this button helps to control the intensity. And if we press it again, we can control the warmth. This other button, it controls whether it's automatic or not. So if you press it, it has a sensor, just like on our phones, that sort of self-adjusts to whatever it needs to work with. So let me show you what it's like to write on it. Right. So once we turn it on, we see the paper and we can start writing it. But actually, the feature that they like to sell the most, and I tend to agree with it, is complete lack of glare, right? Because all the light is up here compared to where our eyesight is, right? And it gleams down. So you never have any direct glare into the eyes. And everything just below the surface is illuminated. We also don't get any glare from the monitors. Everything is just illuminated. It's a really nice feat of engineering. And yeah, it's quite nice. I can't even imagine like what it's like without it. So it fits on a 24-inch monitor really comfortably. The one thing I was worried about is my webcam and whether I can actually put it on top. You know, we're daisy chaining accessories here, but it actually works pretty well because that's currently what I have. I have my webcam that's sitting directly on top. So the finish, the actual design is super nice. Luckily, it really matches well with my best view monitor arm. It has the same sort of grayish matte finish, so it matches the rest of my computer furniture pretty well. Pretty happy with the design. There's definitely something that really helps in my current setup, especially writing notes, you know, or at night, even to see the keyboard. Before I used to use an illuminated keyboard, and now I don't need to because I have this light, and it's still fairly dim because it just illuminates the surface. So if you have a white surface, your whole workspace is going to be a little bit brighter, right? Because it's more about reflections than direct light in this case. And you have a really dark surface, everything is going to be a little bit darker, right? You have to pump up the energy a little bit, right? The intensity of it. My desk is sort of a light medium finish. It's like a faux wood and it looks nice. You know, it's a little bit warmer, so I'm definitely happy with it. Let's talk about installation. So we get our light, right? It comes with this and it's got a little counterweight that sits on top. And then all we need to do is put the light on top of the monitor. And then we sort of adjust the counterweight to whatever we want so we get the right angle in the front. And that's kind of a counterweight, so it's on a spring. So we can actually play with it a little bit until we get the right one and adjust it. So then we have our USB cable. In fact, you know what? This is a little bit too high for me. Let me first plug in the USB. It's a USB micro, doesn't matter. We don't need to have everything as a USB-C. All right, now it's plugged in and load. So then it sits nice and comfortably and the rest of it is connected to the controller. So we're ready to go. And then yeah, if you do have a webcam like I do, you kind of just stick it up on top of there. And as I said, it works pretty nicely, even with a webcam. And the whole thing is easily adjustable because the weight is spring-loaded. So you can make it actually throw a little bit further out or, you know, be closer to your screen. You may have noticed my shirt. Let me see, I'm gonna jump a little bit. There it is. It says I Heart Design. So I designed a couple of shirts. I really care about design and I love it. So I thought I may design some shirts and they're available for you to purchase, which will help me grow a little bit more with my channel. So link is below. Thank you very much for watching this and I hope to see you next time. Subscribe if you want to keep updated with similar posts and make sure again that you like the video and see you next time.